With the second pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ndamukong Suh out of Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while, but Ndamukong Suh has decided to call it quits today after essentially a 15-year career in the National Football League. And this is a day that we knew was coming. It just was a matter of time. And I feel like it's only right to announce his retirement, even though he has not been a Detroit Lion in over 10 years. Can you guys believe that? It was over 10 years ago in free agency of 2015, after his rookie contract was over, that it was 2015. It was after our brutal loss to the Dallas Cowboys, you know the one I'm talking about, that he decided to move on. And I'll never forget when Ndamukong Suh, after the game was over, everybody was wondering what he was going to do. And he put an end to the questions. He just said he wants to think about his teammates. And on the podium, he cried his eyes out. And I remember saying, he's leaving. He's not coming back. You could just tell by the emotion that this was the end of the road for him. Calvin Johnson, I believe, I can't remember if he had retired yet or he had one more season to play, but you could just tell that he was on his way out in Ndamukong Suh. Now, here's a bit of a trivia question. Without cheating, I had to cheat because I couldn't remember it. And then when I saw it, I was like, duh. Who was the number one pick in the 2010 NFL Draft? Who was picked before Ndamukong Suh? Here's a hint. It was a quarterback just like in 2009, and he never won a Super Bowl. He didn't even last 10 years. Put it in the comment section below. I'll tell you who it was at the end of the video if you don't feel like going to Google it yourself or you didn't remember. But here's what Ndamukong Suh, we're just going to read an excerpt in part from his Twitter account. Here's what he had to say. On July 12th, 2024, it was the hardest day of my life. It's the day I said goodbye to my father, the man who raised me, shaped me, challenged me, and believed in me before I believed in myself. He wasn't just a dad, he was my idol, my coach, and my anchor. He taught me what it meant to be disciplined, focused, and relentless in everything I do. Every snap I took in football carried his fingerprint. Every time I lined up across from someone, I could hear his voice pushing me, reminding me that I wasn't just representing myself. I was representing him, my family, my name. Before he passed, he gave me one final piece of advice. It's time to let football go. You've done everything you set out to do. Now it's time for the next chapter. That conversation stayed with me. So today, 1 year later, I'm honoring that wish. I'm officially retiring from the NFL. And then he goes to list on his accomplishments. 13 seasons, 5-time All-Pro, Super Bowl ring, countless battles in the trenches. And that Super Bowl ring that he's referring to is the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he went and played with Tom Brady and finally got a ring. He had been on a few teams before he wound up getting that ring. As a matter of fact, one of the teams he was on is the team that our former quarterback actually plays for now. Let's take a look at Ndamukong Suh's stats again. Drafted second overall in 2010. Spent his rookie contract with the Detroit Lions. Look at his availability. You talking about a dude, man. With his time with the Detroit Lions, the dude only missed 2 games, which was in his sophomore season. That is insane. I don't think I've ever known that before. I believe he won Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2010, had 10 sacks. I say, oh my God, man, Ndamukong Suh, bro, where'd you go? Man, I would die for that right now. From a interior, dude was an absolute dog, man. He was a dog in more ways than one. Holy mackerel, man, I would die for that right now. And then he wind up going and taking a massive deal with the Miami Dolphins that he wind up not even playing out all the way. I think he wind up getting cut at the at the end of the 2017 season. Then he went to the LA Rams, actually played with Jared Goff. And when Matthew Stafford went to LA, Ndamukong Suh came out and said that Jared Goff was the best quarterback he had ever played with. Now, this is obviously before he played with Tom Brady, but he said that Jared Goff was the best quarterback that he played with, and he played there for 1 year. That was the year that the LA Rams went to the Super Bowl. So he came close. Then he spent 3 years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then when Philly tried to snag him, he played 8 games with them, and that was his last year in the National Football League. So 3 seasons ago now, that's when the Lions actually went 9-8 and just missed the playoffs. And Ndamukong Suh actually came in halfway during the season. And how many sacks did he get that year? Just the 1. He just got the 1, but that's insane, man. Winds up, his career total for sacks is 71.5. And I do recall that I think it was like 2023. He said the next time he would play one more season, and that season would be his last. Well, 2023 didn't play, 2024 didn't play, and of course, he has decided to retire before the 2025 NFL season. Now, Ndamukong Suh, man, he was a dirty dog, and no matter what you try to say, the dude was a monster in more ways than one. Very well-spoken, but the dude on the field he would just wreak havoc. He was reckless. He was a monster. But he was also a very dirty player. There's no denying that. There were so many times that we caught him doing things that would probably get you ejected in today's game. But Ndamukong Suh, he was a dirty dog. He was a dog, but he was dirty as well. He did get his Super Bowl ring, but there's no denying that. But I think one of the reasons that this was so important for me to bring up in the video is, one, he was drafted by us, and for 10 years, Detroit Lions fans were trying to get this guy back. I was saying for the longest that he doesn't want to come back. Like, he left a lot of times, especially back in the 2010s, like the Calvin Johnson era, the Matthew Stafford era, the Ndamukong Suh era, because it was Calvin Johnson, then it was a break, then it was Matthew Stafford, then it was Ndamukong Suh. Those guys have been toasted by the organization. And as much as I can't stand Matthew Stafford, they got roasted by this organization. They really did. The organization now, the Detroit Lions of today, were not the Detroit Lions of 15 years ago. It was a team that you really didn't want to have anything to do with. Let's not forget that Barry Sanders had to be brought back into this organization. There was some rift between them. Calvin Johnson had to be brought back into the organization. There was rift between them. So the organization was not run like it is now, and it was a completely different organization back then. But Lions fans have been trying to get this guy to come back. Even I mean, the dude is what, almost 40 years old? How old is Ndamukong Suh? He was born in 1987, January the 6th. So he just turned 38 years old. Listen, Bruce Irvin was playing for the team at 37, so I'm sure Ndamukong Suh could probably still play. And then I remember he came back and took a picture of a Detroit sign on the highway, and fans were losing their mind. They thought he was on his way back. So Ndamukong Suh officially retires after 13 actual seasons in the NFL, but again, he hadn't officially retired. And I think he knew when his father passed that he was going to retire today. I don't think playing in 2024, and remember back when we were struggling, man, we were trying to get anybody, JJ Watt. I mean, we were trying to get anybody, Ndamukong Suh, anybody to come help us and that defense. And I think he knew that, because remember, his dad died a year ago today and said, hey, you need to let it go. And I think he was like, okay, well, 1 year from today, the anniversary of his death, I'm going to retire officially. So to honor his father that way. So let me know what you think, man. How does it feel? I mean, he hasn't been a Detroit Lion for a very long time, but it does seem like once you're a Lion, you're always a Lion. I don't know. Maybe you guys feel that way about Matthew Stafford. I don't feel that way. He's probably the only guy I don't feel that way about. Calvin Johnson, had he played for another team, I don't know if I would feel that way either. I think it's how Ndamukong Suh left. He was a free agent, so he, chose not to come back. To me, it's a bit different. So same thing with Calvin Johnson. I think Calvin Johnson was still on a contract, and when he wanted to go, allegedly get traded to the Patriots. So maybe it would have been different then. I'm not sure, but let me know what you think. I guess we can finally let this thing go. 13 seasons, 15 years, and Ndamukong Suh calls it quits from the National Football League. And you know what this tells us? We getting old. We getting old, man. That's crazy. So Ndamukong, my son was born right before Ndamukong Suh was drafted. He was 3 months old, and now he is on his way to 16. That is crazy. Man, I feel old. But you might notice I got on a new shirt, man. A new shirt. I believe in Davenport. That's right. I wind up mocking this shirt. I wanted to get it before I put it on the store. This is going to be a limited edition because either A, Marcus Davenport is not going to stay healthy, or B, he could very well not be on the team next year signing a 1-year deal. So this time next year, this could be irrelevant, or it might have to be redesigned. So get your limited edition, I believe, in Marcus Davenport. You see what I did there? You see, I don't believe, and I crossed that out. I crossed that out, man, because I was like, you know what? The fan base believes in him. Brad believes in him. Sarcastically, I'm going to believe in him too. So get your I Believe in Davenport shirts on fandrivenbrand.com. You should see the store attached. And yeah, I look forward to you guys checking out the store and seeing how it is. And I'm looking forward to the season, man. Lions take the field in 19 days, I believe it is. 19 days. We have 19 days until, for me, football is back. Once they take the Hall of Fame, we got training camp 2 days before that. And then we got a game. And then we got training camp that you might not get tickets to. And then we got more games. And then the season is here. The only negative part about the NFL season, for me anyway, is that the kids go back to school. Anyway, I know some parents are like, get them out of here, right? But anyway, this channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I believe in Davenport.